What is an example of a real-life evil person that got what they deserved? Happened in Daytona Beach about 10 years ago. Guy molested a boy, and the boy's father caught him in the act and beat him to death with his bare hands. A guy was raping his youngest stepson for years and finally got caught when the older brothers found out. Now, he was a group leader at the church, and the woman in charge of that program disregarded the claims from the stepson. So the older brothers told their stepdad, "Turn yourself in or we'll kill you." And he did. The woman killed herself before showing up to court. The documents they found from her proved she knew and did nothing. She was a family friend, and it blew my mind that she was that evil. The stepdad also threw me off. I knew them all very well. It nearly ruined a mega church, but they managed to get away with their PR. I was waiting at a crosswalk once. The pedestrian sign told me to go. A guy making a right turn sped up to cut in front of me. I had to jump back to avoid getting hit. As the guy passed me, he pointed and laughed at me. It's really a shame that he was staring at me to mock me, because he definitely didn't see the cop waiting to exit the parking lot right next to me that he cut off. Me and the cop both made eye contact before I watched him flip on his lights and promptly pull the guy over. The cop did not look happy. I'm willing to bet that was an expensive ticket. A pedophile in my hometown was exposed when he lent out his old camcorder, but forgot he had a tape in it. On the tape was a recording of himself undressing and molesting a 1.5-year-old toddler. He was arrested 2 hours later, and the police found lots of similar content on his computer. He was released pending trial a few weeks later and disappeared. Most people assumed he had fled the country. A few months later, professional divers cleaning up the bottom of the harbor found a car with a corpse in the driver's seat. The windshield was missing and the corpse was tied to the steering wheel with rope. The local police declared it a clear-cut case of suicide. The national police told the local police to investigate the case further, but they didn't manage to uncover any evidence of wrongdoing, and people was very pleased by the good work the police had done. An 18-month-old toddler, man, what the F? Yep, evil people are real. Ken McElroy. Town bully and overall evil person gets murdered. No one in town saw who did it. No one saw who did it when it happened in front of the entire town. Truly a community coming together. Did he about to find out? Jeff Ducey, taekwondo instructor raped a student. Said student's dad was in the airport when Ducey was being extradited. Dad hangs by payphones armed with pistol. Cops walk by with Ducey. Dad caps him on the side of his dome. Lights out sugar. I love the added story of when the mother, Gary's then ex-wife, found out and first got a chance to speak with him. She said, "The least you could have done was let me drive you there. I know it didn't work out with us and we're divorced now and everything, but it's moments like this that remind me why I liked you in the first place." Nazi war criminal Oscar Derlewanger, who was so evil the Nazis disciplined him for excessive violence during the invasion of Warsaw, got captured in France and was recognized, despite his civilian clothes, and died a few days later under ill treatment. There's an unconfirmed anecdote that the partisans who had him in custody also had a kid with them who survived one of the Derlewanger Brigade's massacres, and they let the kid beat on him for a while. Jeffrey Dahmer, killed in prison, enough said. Beaten to death for allegedly being creepy and making jokes about his crimes around people who didn't much appreciate it. Yeah, there's a subset of the true crime world that likes to say, "Oh, poor Dahmer. He was repressed for his sexuality, converted to Christianity in prison, and then beaten to death." But then, You hear about what he was saying and how he was saying it, and this dude did not regret a single thing. Sam Bankman-Fried and his crew, leaders of FTX and Alameda, they got stripped of their power, humiliated, and their names are forever tarnished in history. Sam got to watch in real time as all the people he used to be friends with, hang out with, and care about turn on him and point their fingers to save their own skin. He also got to watch in real time every single one of his lies becoming dismantled in court. Sam went on a number of podcasts and interviews before his trial. So it looks something like this. Prosecutor, have you ever said this or done this? Sam, I don't recall. I never said that. Prosecutor, here's video evidence of you saying that. Disgraced, humiliated, and jailed. The end of Bankman-Fried and crew. He had an interview with Tucker Carlson recently from jail, where he begged Trump for forgiveness and pleaded. He was then put into solitary confinement afterwards. Thomas Migley, the inventor of leaded gasoline and chlorofluorocarbons, was strangled to death by another of his own inventions. Edit to brag that I spelled chlorofluorocarbons correctly on the first try. I'm impressed with myself. Full video on channel UpThreadX.